to change your routine to be able to handle some of that, around some of that punishment?
It was tough, man. I mean, a lot of times you have a set workout routine always. You always have. I mean, you're always mixing the workout routine up. I was always mixing around. You always have the standard workout routines, whether it be the traditional back and buys, chest and tries, abs. A lot of times you can't do your thighs because your thighs are bruised. You can't do squats because your knees are all banged up. And you can't do the back because the guy put me in a Samoan drop and crushed the bottom of my back the day before. So a lot of times you take it on a day-by-day basis. And the day after a match I'll be really sore and I'll go in there and I'll do something else. I mean, I couldn't do deadlifts, but maybe I can do pull downs. I can't do T-bar rows because I can't bend over because my back's broken. But I can do pull-ups. You know what I mean? So it's
exactly.
You're always trying to be versatile. But you try to stay in one piece, man. 'Cause you never know what's going to happen. I remember while I was training down at Kowalski's professional wrestling school, the film crews always come down to quite a bit, which is really cool. And you can see me training. They had all kinds of videos. There's tons of stuff back there. They had Ring Masters, a thing from the New England Sports Network, documented Ring Masters, pro wrestling in New England, which was filmed at the school in 2000, produced by a guy who was really cool. I talked to him a couple of times, guy Jim Carroll, and I was privileged. You can see me in the footage, doing the push-ups and all that fun stuff. And they would always be down there. I remember in 2001, they would do stuff like, and then MSNBC was down there investigating a documentary entitled Body of Work, which was about April Hunter, because she was the only real female in the class. And I'll give her a lot of credit for coming down there. And it's probably a little bit intimidating walking into a school of 25 pretty big guys, by yourself and coming in there and doing what she did. So, my all the credit to her, which was really cool to do. But some of the footage is funny. You can always see me wearing my favorite attire in the film, the traditional black T-shirt, the black or blue shorts, and the white Atomics high top sneakers. Man, that was like the battle gear back then. So it's funny to see some of these old clips that guys send me through emails and stuff. It's fun to relive the past. But I would do it over in a second, man. The camaraderie of those guys and the teacher, Hollow and Kowalski and all those guys, and it was kind of a big family at that time, and I do miss it, man. I gotta be honest with you. Now that I'm now that that stuff is past, I do miss it. But it was a great experience, and I wouldn't trade it for the world.
No, it's just like a lot of a lot of athletes in other sports. Once they get away from it, it's just mentally it's hard to disconnect from it. They want to go
back. It absolutely is, man. It is. But at least we're fortunate where you do some bodybuilding, you love that, and then you go to pro wrestling, and that was an awesome experience. And then I got a lot of times down at school in my gym, people would come in there and shoot some of the guys in the gym. And the old World Gym Winfield was cool. It had a huge aerobics room in there, so a lot of photographers would come in, and they would, a lot of times they would take pictures of me, of footage, and throw them in catalogs. I don't know what's out there, catalogs and calendars. All kinds of, which I was honored to do. They would even ask me to do it. But you move on from that, and then I got requested by a couple of friends to submit some pictures to some modeling places, and they wanted to use them for a few different things. And it's cool, man. Just try to stay active as we get older. I'll be 36 in October, so realistically, I just want to stay healthy and injury-free. But it's always fun to do things that are fitness-oriented, and it all comes back to all this. The weight training and everything that your site is about, it all comes back to that, and that's like the foundation of it. And but your site's an amazing site, man. I checked out, you got a lot of great stuff on there. And like I said, I'm honored to have you even call me for this the very first podcast interview for your site. I hope it can really enhance it. I mean, 'cause it's a great site already, but hopefully it can add a little something to it that you might need.
Yeah, well, we like I said, we appreciate it. Hey, John, you mentioned you're becoming an old fart now. You're up to 36. I'm 42, so I got a few years on you. But what's different? As you age, with your regards to training, how you approach training. Do you still go hard and heavy, or you reach a certain point where you're lifting some heavy weight, and you know,
Exactly.
the pounds aren't going up, you know, week after week.
Right.
So how is
Right.
training different for you now?
Well, I mean,
If at all?
you know, as you get older, you got to train smarter. I mean, you know, a long time ago, it's almost like you're an NFL football player, and you're doing this, and you're going 100 miles an hour every day, 100% every day. And every guy goes through it. Every young guy says, "I'm invincible. It'll never happen to me." Where, you know, the body I term is like a car or a machine. You can work it so often, but eventually it's going to break down. And with me now, my muscles are very strong, but my joints and ligaments are just really shot up.
Yeah, same
You know,
here.
you can only do that, the heavy lifting, and, you know, just it's you know, I started working out back in, God, 88. You know, so you're looking at, man, 21, 22 years of consistent training, and that's gonna eventually it's gonna wear and tear on your joints. So even now, my muscles feel very strong, but my joints and ligaments are really beat up. So my training has changed. I mean, years ago I would go heavy, mix it up. You know, do the heavy bench or the heavy inclines, and then I would go to the moderate or the flies for reps and mix it up with dips and all that stuff. But there was always that heavy pounding was always the main staple of my training. But now it's more, I train for reps. I train for the moderate weight for repetitions. I can still get that pump, but I don't have that pressure and pain in my joints. So as I get older, my training's gotten a little bit smarter. You know, I'm just trying to stay healthy and injury-free. Everything else is a blessing. But, you know, the body it remembers, and it has muscle memory. And even though I'm training lighter, and I'm training a little bit smarter now, the body still remembers. So I can still stay in pretty good condition without pushing that heavy weight. But I get a pretty good pump in the gym, and I can't complain. I think I'm ahead of the game for a 35-year-old guy right now. So I'm gonna, as long as I can pretty much hang with my sons, you know, they don't beat me up. I think, you know, I think I'm doing all right, man.
So when when it comes to lifting, you know, with a little more moderate weights, a lot of times you bring that up, and you might hear a younger guy, you know, be concerned that you're going to lose muscle. Do you find that's the case, or do you find that it's kind of like getting a stone rolling? Once it's rolling, you just have to kind of just keep nudging it. And
that's all it is, man. That's what it really is. I mean, you know, a lot of times the main thing is staying injury-free. And a lot of times, I was a young guy once, and I did the same thing. You know, you put a whole batch of weight in a squat rack and a squat, you know, all day long, and you say, I'm never going to have knee problems. I'm never going to have back problems. But I see these young guys in the gym, and I'm saying to myself, you know, you're going to end up just like me. It's only a matter of time before, you know, in your 20s, you can do all this heavy stuff. But eventually, you're going to have to come back to the realization in your 30s and as you approach 40 that you're going to start training smarter. And I find that what I'm doing now, my main thing has always been consistency. You know, I was never the biggest guy. Even when I wrestled, I was never the biggest guy. I was never the strongest guy, but I was always strong. I was always decent size, and my training was always dead on. I mean, my diet, and my training was always 100% on. You know, I was never gifted with a lot of attributes that guys were naturally born with, but I broke my ass, man. I mean, I trained for 22 years now, and anything I've got now, I've earned, you know, through hard work. And it's just being consistent and trying to be as intelligent as you possibly be to avoid injuries. Luckily, even with all my wrestling and the training, you know, I've gotten beat up quite a bit, but I've never had a back surgery. I've never had knee surgeries. I've never had any surgeries, period. Because I think I've been smart enough. I have aches and pains, don't get me wrong, but I've never had an injury that bad. I think my training has been smart enough, man, and I know what to do, what not to do, you know.